Hello students, welcome to Time. Take a look at this picture. What do you observe here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. right, and so on. What do you think about these numbers? What are they? They are natural numbers, right? Okay. Along with natural numbers, okay, with this set, if I include 0, then what will happen? I mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. What will be that? That will be the set of whole numbers, right? Now, with the set of whole numbers, if I include the opposites of natural numbers, what do I mean by opposite? Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, okay? So, the negative numbers, what will happen? It will become the set of integers, right? So, all these different types of numbers you have learned in earlier previous classes, in lower classes, right? Now, let us look at how to represent integers on a number line. How do we represent integers on a number line? How does a number line look? You know how a number line looks, right? You have learned that also in previous classes, right? Line means what? Line has arrow marks on both sides. You know the difference between line and line segment, right? So, nothing. How to draw a number line? Simply draw a line and don't forget the arrow mark on both sides. Okay, fine. And then what? What are these green numbers here? They are nothing but natural numbers. We just saw them, right? So, natural numbers you have to write, mark the numbers. How do you mark them? You have to mark them in such a way that the gap between two consecutive numbers are equal. What I mean to say is, like whatever is the gap between 1 and 2, maintain the same between 2 and 3. Maintain the same between 3 and 4 and so on. Okay. So, what are these? These are nothing but natural numbers. And you have to put 0. What is 0? If you, along with the set of natural numbers, if you include 0, it becomes set of whole numbers. And of course, 0 is less than 1. So, it comes before 1, right? And then before 0, right? Before 0, you have to represent negative numbers like minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. right? Whatever you do, maintain the same gap between two consecutive integers. Okay, fine. So, we have now represented the entire integers, you know, on the number line. Now, what do you observe on this? Not entire integer, I am sorry, that is a wrong word. You cannot write all the integers on the number line. That is why we have this arrow mark on both sides to let you know that they go on forever. This side it goes on until minus infinity and this side it goes on until plus infinity, right? We never know which is the least, you know, negative integer, we don't know. And what is the greatest integer, positive integer, we don't know, right? So, they keep growing, right? What do you observe on this number line? Is there anything that you observe about these numbers on the number line? And before we proceed, I wanted to ask you, see, these are negative numbers, these are positive. What about 0? 0 is neither negative nor positive, and you have learned that also in lower classes, right? Okay. Now, what do you observe about these numbers? Now, you observe that from left to right, right? Starting from the left side, if you move towards the right side, the numbers are increasing, yes or no? As we move from left to right, the numbers are in increasing means what? Increasing order means ascending order, right? From smallest to biggest. Just observe this. 0 is smaller than 1, 1 is smaller than 2, 2 is smaller than 3 and so on, right? So, we are arranging from smallest to biggest. Now, what happens? What is the other way? You can also say it like this, right? From left to right, the numbers are in ascending order, increasing order. Then, what is the other way of saying it? From right to left, the numbers are in descending order. Descending order means decreasing order. Decreasing order means arranging from greatest to smallest, it is coming down, right? Same. Now, if you carefully observe, 4 is greater than 3, 3 is greater than 2, 2 is greater than 1. It is decreasing slowly, right? From right to left. So, that is what we observe here. Now, we are going to see like how to add and subtract integers using a number line. How to add or subtract integers using a number line. First take a look at this number line. I will pick any number on this number line, okay. That is my given integer, that is my integer I am starting with. When I add a positive integer to that integer which I have taken, which I have considered, the result obtained will be on the right side of the given integer. First take a look at the point. When we do an example, you will understand the point better, right. When we add a positive integer, the result obtained is on the right side of the given integer. Now, let us take the given integer as say some 2 here, okay. Let us take the integer, given integer as 2. Now, what does the point say? When you add a positive integer to a given integer, 4 is positive. I am adding 4 to the given integer. What will happen? You know what is 2 plus 4, right? 2 plus 4 is 6. Or how to show it on a number line? From 2, I have to move 4 steps, okay, because it is 4. And which side? Left side or right side? Right side, because it is positive integer. Positive means right side. Positive integer, so you have to move what? Towards right. How many steps? 4 steps. So, what will you do? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I move 4 steps towards the right, okay. So, now where am I landing? 6. You already know 2 plus 4 is equal to 6, right. So, this is how you represent it on a number line. First, whatever is the first number, you circle it, highlight it. From there, you are moving how many steps? 4 steps. Since it is positive integer, you are moving towards right. So, this is how you show the addition on the number line, okay. So, now you may sometimes get confused. What is right side, left side? How to look at left side, right side? See, you are facing the number line. So, this is your right side, this is your left side. So, 0 is in the middle, right side of 0, positive integers, left side of 0, negative integers. You understood? So, I hope this point was clear. Now, let us look at the next point. What will happen, okay, and when you add a negative integer to a given integer? So, here let us first see the point here. We did not see it, right. The result obtained is on the right side of the given integer. The given integer is what? 2. What did you do? You added a positive integer and the result is what? 6. See, 6 is on the right side of the given integer, right. So, now we are going to see what will happen if you add a negative integer to a given integer. Where will the result be? So, what happens when we add a negative integer to a given integer? Let us see the point first. When we add a negative integer to a given integer, the result obtained is to the left of the given integer, just opposite. Earlier we added positive integer, result was on the right side. Now we are adding negative integer, so the result will be on the left side of the given integer, right. So, how do you represent that on a number line? Let us take some examples. Let us take this time, let us begin with 5. Assume 5 is the given integer, okay. Now, what am I going to do to 5? I am going to add a, say, negative integer, right. So, what will I get? Here let us see what we get. Now, earlier it was positive integer, so we moved towards the right. Now, it is negative, we should do the opposite, right. We should be moving towards left side. How many steps? 6 steps. What will happen if you do so? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am moving 6 steps starting from 5. What happened? I landed at -1. So, what is 5? 5 plus of -6 equal to -1. That is our answer. Wherever you come and land, that is the answer, okay. And now, this is the given integer and you added a negative integer to that. Then what happened to the result obtained? Result obtained is on the left side. 5 is there, -1 is on the left side of 5, right. That is what the point is saying. When you add a negative integer, the result obtained is on the left side of the given integer. Now, what is the sum of two positive integers? What did we do now? Some integer was given, You added positive integer, you added negative integer, you saw what happened. Now, if both are positive integer, what will happen to addition? So, what is the sum of two positive integers? What will happen to the result? Okay, take a look at this number line first. Now, the sum of two positive integers is always positive. Okay, sum of two positive integers is a positive integer. Some time ago we learned one point, right? When you add a positive integer to a given integer, the result obtained is on the right side of the given integer. We took one example. Let us take the same example here. So, let us take 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. What 2 plus 4 is equal to 6, that is what we got if you remember. Okay. So, now how to represent it on the number line? We have already seen it, it is the same. So, you are starting with 2. Since you are adding a positive integer, you have to move towards the right side. By how many steps? 4 steps, because it is 4 and you are landing at 6. We already know that 2 plus 4 is 6. Now, I want to tell you something here which will be helpful when you are learning multiplication of integers. Just pay attention. I know that I have told you, you need not attach a plus sign to a positive integer. Say for example, if here 4 is positive integer, but we are not writing it as plus 4, but I am going to do that now. See, what I am saying is 2 plus 4 is positive, there is no need for writing it as plus 4, but I am still writing it because I want to tell you something. Okay. Here, how do you read this? 2 plus 4. How would you read this? 2 plus of plus 4. That is how you should read it. Plus of plus 4. Plus of plus. Okay. Now, this and this both are same, right? 2 plus of plus 4 is nothing but same. I just wrote that 4 as plus 4. That is all. Both are same. So, now this plus of plus is replaced with plus there. Right? 2 is 2. Right? 4 is 4. Instead of plus, you have a plus there, that is all. So, what do we understand from here? Plus of plus is equal to plus, but what is of? Of stands for which operation? Arithmetic operation? Multiplication. So, plus into plus is plus. Okay. So, positive into positive is what? Positive. Right. So, I hope this point was clear. Sum of two positive integers is a positive integer, and we also learned something related to multiplication of integers. I just want you to remember this, okay, which you have already learned, but still I am just trying to recollect what we have learned. Plus of minus or plus into plus is plus. Now, let us see what will happen to the sum of two negative integers. So, what will happen if you add two negative integers? We just saw that the sum of two positive integers is positive. What do you think is the sum of two negative integers? Negative. Okay. So, the sum of two negative integers is negative. I am going to show it to you on the number line. Okay. Let us begin with a negative integer. Let us take minus 2. Alright. Let us start with minus 2. Now, minus 2 is a negative integer. Now, sum means what? Addition, plus sum of what? Negative integer. So, one negative integer is here. Let me take another negative integer minus 4. I do not know how to add. I do not know what answer you will get. I will get when I add minus 2 and minus 4. But number line can help me. How? Some time ago we learned one point, remember? If you add a negative integer to a given integer, the result obtained is on the left side of the number line, right? Now, what is the given integer? Minus 2. Where is it on the number line? It is here. Minus 2 is here. To minus 2, what am I doing? I am adding a negative integer. What is it? Minus 4. When you are adding a negative integer, which direction we should move? We saw it in the example, right? Which direction should we move? Towards left. By how many steps? What is this? Minus 4. Minus stands for the direction. I have to move towards left. By how many steps? 4 steps. Start from here and move towards left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. Wherever I am landing, that's the answer. minus 6. So, what is this equal to? Minus 6. And minus 6 is a negative integer, right? So, that is what the point is saying. The sum of two negative integers is a negative integer. Alright. So, I hope this was helpful. Now, let us look at the next point. Now, we looked at the sum of two positive integers is positive. The sum of two negative integers is negative. Now, what is the sum of one positive and one negative? Mixture of the two. Okay. So, in this case, the sum of a positive and a negative integer, there are three cases. In this case, the result can be, when you add a positive and a negative integer, the result can be positive or negative or 0. Okay. Let me show you an example for each one of the case, where the sum of a positive integer and a negative integer may be positive, negative or 0. Now, let us begin with a positive integer and you are adding a negative integer. Let us see what happens to the result, what kind of result we get. Let me take 3. Okay, I am taking 3. 3 is what type of integer? It is positive. To this, I am adding a negative integer, say minus 5. Okay, to 3, what am I doing? I am adding a negative integer, sum of a positive and a negative integer. I don't know how to, I don't know what the answer is, but I know one point that I have learned. When you add a negative integer to a given integer, the result obtained is on the left side of the given integer. So, what is the given integer? 3, the first integer you should start with, right? And you are adding what? Negative integer to the given integer. So, a negative integer means we have to move towards the left side. By how many steps? 5 steps. Minus 5 means 5 steps towards left, right? Minus stands for the direction. So, 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, after moving 5 steps towards left from 3, where are we landing? We are landing at minus 2. So, what is the answer here? Minus 2. See, using the number line you can find the answer to such questions. But of course, when the numbers are very huge, assume you are adding 1252 with minus 372. You can't use number line. They are very huge numbers. Okay, there are other methods, simpler methods to solve such problems. So, here for the such small numbers we can use a number line. Okay. So, now in this case what happened? We are getting a negative answer, right. So, but there are 3 possibilities. It can be positive, negative or 0. We have seen only one example. Now, let me take another example. See, 7 is a positive integer, right. So, now let me add a negative integer to 7, say minus 3. Okay. So, here also positive with negative. I am adding a positive with a negative integer. Here also positive with negative. Let us see what happens in this case. Okay. Where is 7? 7 is here. Okay. Now, what am I doing to 7? I am adding a negative integer. When you are adding a negative integer, the result obtained will be on the left side of the given integer. And adding negative integer means moving towards left side, just like this. How many steps? Minus 3, no? So, 3 steps towards left, starting from 7. So, 1, 2, 3. So, what happens in this case? We are landing at 4. So, what is the answer? 4 is the answer. Now, tell me, how is the result now? The result is positive. Here you got negative when you are adding positive and negative. Here you are getting positive when you are adding positive and negative. In this case, what happened? Positive answer came. Now, let us take another example. Let us take, say, 5. 5 is a positive integer. To that, I am adding a negative integer, say minus 5. Positive plus negative, just like the point says, sum of positive and negative. In this case, what will happen? You are adding 5 and you are taking that away, right? So, what will happen? Plus 5 minus 5, both of them together, they will give you 0. They get cancelled and give you 0. In this case, what is happening? We are getting 0 as the answer. That is why the point says the sum of a positive integer and a negative integer may be positive or negative or 0. So, we have seen an example for each one of these cases, right. Now, when we have, while we are learning this, I am also giving you some points which are helpful for multiplication of integers, right. Now, what I am going to do, I am just going to retain this example here and tell you something related to multiplication of integers. It will be very helpful when you are learning multiplication of integers. Now, what is 7 minus 3? 7 minus 3 is normal subtraction. You are subtracting a smaller number from a bigger number. What is 7 minus 3? From 7, if you remove 3, what will you get? You will get 4. Here also you are getting 4, right? There also you are getting 4. So, can I say 7 plus minus 3 is equal to 7 minus 3? Yes or no? Because both results are same. Here also 4, there also 4. So, left side, this and this, they are equal. Now, observe one more thing. Here you have minus, but here you have plus of minus, right? You can read it as what? Plus of minus. Plus, what is of? Of means what? Of means multiplication. Here plus of minus you have, here you have minus, but both of them are giving the same result. That means what? Plus of minus is equal to minus. These two are equal. And plus of means what? Into. So, plus into minus is what? Minus. Okay. So, the product, or when you multiply positive with negative, the answer is negative. Some time ago also I taught you one thing. What is it? Plus into plus is plus. Plus into plus is plus. Now, plus into minus is minus. So, these are some important points which I want you to learn along, now itself, so that they will be helpful for multiplication of integers. Now, let us look at the next point. So, before we look at the next point, let us quickly recollect what we have learned in the previous, what are the previous points that we have learned, because there are so many points, we do not want to miss anything. So, what did we start with? We know that on a number line, the numbers are in ascending order from left to right, and they are in descending order from right to left, right, okay. And then we know that the sum of, okay, or when you add a positive integer to a given integer, the result obtained is on the right side of the given integer. When you add a negative integer to a given integer, the result obtained is on the left side of the given integer. The sum of two positive integers is positive. The sum of two negative integers is negative. The sum of a positive and a negative integer may be positive or negative or 0, right. Now, whatever we are going to learn is similar to something you have learned earlier. See, we learned 2 points. When you add a positive integer to a given integer, the result lies on the right side of the number line. Now, we are talked about addition, we didn't discuss subtraction, right. What will happen if you subtract a positive integer from a given integer? That is what we are going to look at now, okay. So, now take a look at this point here. What does the point say? It says, when we subtract a positive integer from a given integer, the result obtained is on the left side of the given integer. Let us take some examples. Now, we will take, say, 5. Now, 5 is the given integer. Okay. Now, what am I doing? We are subtracting a positive integer, right. So, when you are subtracting a positive integer, say 3. 3 is positive, no, you do not have to add plus sign for positive integers. So, what is 5 minus 3 equal to? It is normal subtraction. We know the answer already. What is the answer? 2, right. So, 5 minus 3 is 2. Where is 5? 5 is here. What am I doing to 5? I am subtracting a positive integer from 5. What happened as a result? I got 2. Now, tell me, read the point again. When we subtract a positive integer from a given integer, the result obtained is to the left of the given integer. This is the given integer. This is the result obtained. The result is on the left side of the given integer, right. Now, of course, I have explained what the point is, right. I also want to tell you something related to multiplication of integers. It will be easy if you learn it now, okay. Now, take a look at this. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2, fine. Now, I can also write it as 5 minus of plus 3. What is 3? Positive integer. I can also write it as plus 3. There is no need for writing plus, but I can write, there is nothing wrong. Whether I do 5 minus 3 or 5 minus of plus 3, answer is what? Same, right? Because I am just writing 3 as plus 3, that's all. There is nothing wrong in it. I am not changing the value answer in any way. Now, since both are equal to 2, you can equate these two. When you equate these two, what will you get? 5 minus of plus 3 is equal to 5 minus 3. Right. This is equal to that. Now, what is the difference between these two? 5 is here, 5 is there also. 3 is here, 3 is there also. But instead of this minus of plus, you have minus here. Right. It looks like equal to sign. So, I am just writing it like this. So, now observe, this minus of plus is nothing but the minus here. Right. So, now what do we understand? How do you read this? Minus of plus. Minus of plus is equal to what? Minus. Of means which operation? Into. Minus into plus is minus. Some time ago also we learned something. What is it? Plus into plus is plus. Plus into minus is minus. Now, minus into plus is minus. This is the third result related to multiplication of integers. I am just giving these then and there, while learning addition and subtraction itself. It's a kind of reasoning. It's a kind of reasoning I am trying to provide. Later you are going to learn these things as rules under multiplication of integers. Plus into plus is plus, minus into plus is minus, plus into minus is minus, But you will wonder like why minus into plus is minus, why plus into minus is minus, right? So, I am trying to give you proof in advance, that's all, okay. So, I hope this point was clear. Now, let us look at the next point. We just looked at what happens when we subtract a positive integer from a given integer, right. So, that case what happened? It is lying on the result obtained is on the left side of the given integer. Now, what do you think is we are going to look at? Opposite. When we subtract a negative integer from a given integer, what will happen to the result obtained? What do you think will be the result obtained? It will be on the right side of the given integer, opposite, right? Okay. Now, take a look at this point. When we subtract a negative integer from a given integer, the result obtained is to the right side of the given integer. Alright. Let us take some examples. Say, let us begin with 1. 1 is a given integer. Okay. Now, I am subtracting what? A negative integer from it. Negative integer, say minus 5. I am subtracting a negative integer from a given integer. So far, we know that when you add a positive integer to a given integer, you move towards the right side. When you add a negative integer to a given integer, you move towards left. Now, here it is subtraction of a negative integer. Now we are confused. Should we move to the right or left, right? We don't know what to do. So, how to go about this problem? I will give you one easy method to remember. You can think of subtraction as distance between the two integers. Okay. So, even the previous one, earlier we did subtracting a positive integer, right? That also can be looked at the distance as the distance between the two integers. Okay. So, this let us see what happens here. What is the first one? 1. Where is 1? 1 is here. And what is the second integer? Minus 5. Where is minus 5? Minus 5 is here. Right. 1 is here, minus 5 is there. What is the distance between the two integers? Subtraction, I am looking at as a distance between the two integers. Distance means I am only counting the number of steps it takes me to reach minus 5 from 1. That is all, only counting the number of steps, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to move 6 steps from 1 to reach minus 5. Answer is simply 6, that is all. See, in case of addition, we were landing at the answer actually. Wherever we landed, that was the answer. Here, that is not the case. The distance between them is the answer. and the distance cannot be negative, it is positive, we take only the magnitude. So, here it is 6 steps are needed to reach minus 5 from 1, because 1 is the first one. From 1 we start, we go to minus 5, okay, right. So, now we know that this is how you look at it, okay. Now, where is the given integer? 1 is the given integer and it is here. Where is the result obtained? Result obtained is there, right? It is not the result obtained, okay. So, here it is 6. 6 steps are needed to reach minus 5 from 1, or the distance between 1 and minus 5 is equal to 6 steps, okay, right. Now, what is the point here? When we subtract a negative integer from a given integer, the result obtained is on the right side of the given integer. What is the result obtained? 6. Where is 6? 6 is here. So, what is the given integer? 1 is the given integer. To 1 we are adding from 1 we are subtracting a negative integer. The result obtained is 6. Where is 6? 6 is on the right side, right? So, as per the point, the result obtained is on the right side of the given integer when you subtract a negative integer from it, right. So, the point I hope is clear now. Like I told you earlier, I am going to show you one more result which is related to multiplication of integers here using the same example, okay. See, 6, here you are getting 6, okay. Now, 1 plus 5 is also 6, right. 1 and 5 when you add them you are getting 6, and here 1 minus of minus 5 is also 6. Both are giving same result. So, I can equate the two, both are equal, left hand side are equal, right. So, I can say 1 minus of minus 5, okay, is equal to 1 plus 5, right. 1 minus of minus 5 is equal to 1 plus 5 because both are equal to 6. Now, what is happening here? Here you simply have plus between 1 and 5, but here you have what? Minus of minus. How do you read it? Minus of minus. What is minus of minus? Minus of minus, when you say, it is actually minus into minus, right. Of means multiplication. So, this minus of minus is replaced by a simple plus here, right. It is equal to what? Plus. So, minus into minus is equal to what? Plus, right. So, we have learned 4 results along with addition and subtraction of integers, 4 results which are related to multiplication of integers. What are they? Just if you quickly recollect, plus into plus is equal to plus. Plus into minus is equal to minus. Minus into plus is equal to minus. And finally, here minus into minus is equal to plus, right. So, these are very important results with respect to multiplication of integers, right. So, it is like multiplying a positive value with positive gives you positive, positive value with negative gives you negative, negative value with positive gives you negative, negative with negative gives you positive, right. Of course, while doing multiplication of integers, along with this plus and minus, you will also have some number like minus 3 into 7, minus 5 into minus 6, like that, okay. So, you should also learn how to multiply the signs. You know how to multiply numbers already. You have to learn how to multiply signs, and why they are working, that is what I am explaining here with all these examples, okay. So, I hope all these points were clear. Now, we are going to look at what is additive inverse. What is the meaning of additive inverse? Additive inverse. See, what is the meaning of inverse in English? Inverse means something which is the opposite of or reverse of something else, okay. It has a similar meaning here also. So, if to speak mathematically, to give you the definition mathematically, see, if the sum of 2 integers is 0, okay, then they are said to be, the integers are said to be inverses of each other. Let me read it. When the sum of 2 integers is 0, each integer is said to be the inverse of the other. Let me give you some examples, okay. Now, when will you get 0? Like for example, I have 3. I want to sum, he is saying sum of 2 integers should be 0. Now, tell me, what should I add to 3 so that I get a 0? If you add 1, will you get 0? 3 plus 1 is 4. If you add 10, will you get 0? See, if you add a positive integer, the value will increase. If you add 0, see, you add any positive integer starting from 1. 3 plus 1, 4, which is greater than 3, it is not 0. 3 plus 2, 5, greater than 3, not 0. 3 plus 6, 9, and so on. You add a positive integer, it will only grow bigger and bigger. Okay, fine. Let's forget about positive integers. Go ahead and add 0. What will happen? What is 3 plus 0? Same number. 3 plus 0 is 3. You are not getting 0, you are getting 3. But what should we get? The sum should be 0. So, we should think of negative integers, right? Start from minus 1. What will happen if you add minus 1? What will happen? We learned this multiplication of integers. I taught you some rules now. What is plus of minus? Plus into minus. Plus into minus is what? Minus. 3 minus 1 is 2. Is it equal to 0? No. I should get the sum of the two integers as 0, right? So, it is not working. So, shall we try the next one? Say minus 2, right? Again, just now we learned plus of minus is what? Minus. So, 3 minus 2 is equal to what? 1. Is it equal to 0? No. It is not working either. So, now let us try minus 3. What happens? Because minus 1 over, minus 2 over. Now, minus 3. What is plus of minus 3? Minus. I am sorry. Plus of minus is minus. So, 3 minus what? 3. If you remove 3 from 3, what will you get? 0. This is working, right? So, the sum of two integers is 0. So, what is happening? The sum of two integers, right? 3 plus of minus 3, we are getting the answer as 0. This is satisfying our point, like it is giving us an answer 0 which we want, right? So, what else does the point say? When the sum of two integers is 0, each integer is said to be the additive inverse of the other. See, additive, the word additive is very important, because later you will also be learning about multiplicative inverse, okay. So, you should use the word additive inverse. Now, coming to this, like as per the point, 3 is the additive inverse of minus 3. Minus 3 is the additive inverse of 3, okay. So, what do you think is additive inverse? Nothing. Take the same number, reverse the sign. If it is plus, put minus. If it is minus, put plus. Now, let me ask you, what is the additive inverse of minus 7? Plus 7, right? When you add 7 with minus 7, you are getting 0, right? What is the additive inverse of minus 9? Plus 9. What is the additive inverse of 8? Minus 8, right? So, you just have to take the same number and reverse the sign. If it is minus, make it plus. If it is plus, make it minus. Okay. So, this is what is additive inverse. Okay. Now, what kind of problems you can get? They will ask you problems like this. What is the product of? Okay. Find product of. Find the product of additive inverses of say 8 and minus 1 by 4. You have to find the answer. Now, whenever they ask you questions like this, you should first go slowly, systematic approach. What am I supposed to find out? Product. Product of what? Additive inverses. Of what and what? 8 and minus 1 by 4. First take 8. What is the additive inverse of 8? Just now we learned, right? Minus 8. Take the same number, reverse the sign. This is positive, so that is negative. Now, what is the next one? Minus 1 by 4. It's okay. Let it be a fraction. No problem. So, what should I add to minus 1 by 4 to get 0? Plus 1 by 4. Retain the number as it is. Reverse the sign. Minus will become plus. Product means what? You have to multiply the two. Okay. Now, when you multiply the two, what will happen? Minus 8 into 1 by 4. Right. So, now what will happen? 1 by 4 is positive. This is negative. We know that we have already learned minus into plus is minus. Right. So, minus into plus, minus. Now, in lower classes, you have learned how to multiply a whole number with a fraction, right? So, you can directly cut here. 1 4s are 2 4s are. 1 by 1 is 1. 1 into 2 is 2. That's our answer is minus 2, right. So, such interesting problems or even more complicated problems may come involving even simple concept like additive inverse. Now, let us look at some interesting properties of integers under addition. So, let us now look at some important properties, okay, of integers under addition. Let us begin with the first one. The first one is called as the closure property. So, what is the closure property? See, it very easy, very simple, okay. When we add two integers, their sum is also an integer, that is all. That is, the sum of two integers is also an integer. Let me also show you the point, okay. For any integers p and q are some integers. So, p plus q is also an integer. For example, let us take say 25, okay. So, what will happen? 25 is an integer. I am adding it to say 17, another integer. What will I get? 42, another integer. Sum of two integers is an integer. Now, let us take another one, say 16, okay, plus of we will take say minus 13, okay. So, 16 is a positive integer, minus 30 is a negative integer, but both are integers. So, now what is this equal to? We know that plus of minus is minus, right, 13. What is 16 minus 13? 3. Again, 3 is also an integer. Now, let us take one more example. Take minus 21, okay, negative integer, with I am adding say minus 27. I am just taking some examples. Here what? Negative, I am adding. We know that sum of two negative integers is negative, right? Sum of two negative integers is negative. We learned it under the points, remember. So, now what will happen? The answer is negative. Now, what should you do with the numbers? Simply add them. 21 plus 27 is 48 and attach the minus sign because the answer has to be negative. Again, minus 48 is what? Integer. It is a negative integer but an integer. So, I have taken every case. Sum of two positive integers, sum of one positive, one negative and sum of two negative integers. In every case, the final answer is a integer. That is what the point says, okay. When we add two integers, their sum is also an integer. So, this is nothing but closure property. Now, let us look at the next property. What is the next property? The next property is commutative property. See, in English, commute, to commute means to move from one place to another, something like that. So, how is that word coming here? Commutative property, right? So, it is like moving numbers from one place to another, something like that. So, what it actually says is commutative property, like if you have two integers, you add them in any order you want, answer will be same. For example, let me show you the point. For any two integers p and q, p plus q is equal to q plus p. Let us take one example, okay. Let us take say some number. Let me add 12, okay, 12 plus we will take say some 32. What is 12 plus 32? 44. Now, swap the position 32 plus 12, right. That is what is happening here. In place of p, q is there. In place of q, p is there. First it is p and then q. Here first it is q and then p. Same. We are swapping the places. So, what will happen in this case? Here also the answer is 44, right. So, 12, you are adding 32 to 12 or 12 to 32. Whatever you do, answer, final answer in both cases is same. That is what the property states, okay. Now, how will this property be useful? You may wonder, why should I learn these properties? What is the useful? Why should I learn them? These are like tools which will help you solve problems, okay, simplify some given problem. Let me give you some example here. See, assume you have something like you have to add say 112, okay, plus 1020 plus 88. I am just giving an example like this, okay. What? Addition is very easy, everybody can do. It does not matter whether you have to change the order or not. You may wonder like that, but if you observe, this number here is ending with 2, this number here is ending with 8. 2 plus 8 makes a 10, right. So, it will be nice, addition will be simpler if you add these two and then to this, right. So, that should come here, this should go there. For that you use commutative property. You can rewrite this as 112 plus 88 comes here and 1020 goes there. Okay. So, now what is 112 plus 88? If you add this to this, you will get 200. 200 plus 1020 is equal to what? 1220. So, this is just a very simple example I have taken. Maybe it could be very helpful in even complicated problems. Okay. So, when you bring certain numbers together, addition will be easier. Okay. So, now let us look at the next property. Before we look at the next property, I would like to emphasize one note. See, here properties of integers under addition we are learning. Commutative property holds here, it is true here for all integers, but subtraction of integers is not commutative. I just wanted to add that note. Okay. You should know that subtraction of integers is not commutative, or subtraction is not commutative for integers. Why? Let me give you some examples. Now, if you take say 7, what is 7 minus 6 equal to 1? Now, what about commutative property? You can swap the places, right? In place of P, you bring Q. In place of Q, you take their P, right? So, it will become 6 minus 7. What is 6 minus 7 is minus 1. 6 minus 7 is minus 1. And 1 and minus 1 are not equal to each other. That is why subtraction is not commutative for integers. Okay. Now, let us look at the next property. So, the next property is associative property. So, what does the property state? Here, let us take 3 integers. Okay. When you take 3 integers, whether you add the first 2 and the sum is added to the third one, or you add the last 2 and the sum is added to the first one, whatever, whichever order you follow, sum is same. Take a look at the property first. P plus Q plus R is equal to P plus Q plus R. P, Q, R belongs to, see this notation. What is the meaning of the notation? P, Q, R belongs to Z. Z is nothing but the set of integers. So, P, Q, R are integers. That is a shortcut I have used. Okay. Now, P, Q, R what? Belongs to set of integers. Now, what is happening here? We are first adding P and Q. Whatever result we get, that is added to the third integer. Or you add the second and the third integer, add the result to the first integer. Whatever you do, whether you do this or do that, in both cases, answer is same. Let us take some simple examples. See, like 4 plus 5 plus 6. What is 4 plus 5 plus 6? 9 plus 6, 15. Right? Simply 4 plus 5 plus 6 is what? 16. So, now, I am sorry, 15. Now, what we should do? If we go